What a matchup!
And what a team, Mike. Metro PCS and the iPhone SE for $0 on a network that covers 99% of people in the U.S. Oh, impressive.
Play with the best. Switch to Metro PCS on an unlimited LTE plan and get a 32-gig iPhone SE for $0. Metro PCS. Coverage not available in some areas, plus sales tax. Claim based on talk and text. Not valid for active numbers currently on the T-Mobile network or active on Metro PCS in the past 90 days. See store for details and terms and conditions.
Blog Talk Radio.
It's Friday. I'm so excited and exhausted and hungover. I'm not going to lie. Those terrible people at the bar made me drink that wine last night while I was having auditions. Can you believe that? Talk about a total multitasking individual. She's at the bar drinking wine, casting people in her movie, talking to musicians, and having a great time. Yeah, that's pretty much my life. Hi, everybody. It's Friday. It's the last show of the week. Thank you, Lord. And I always tend to think that the last show is some of the best that I have. And trust me when I tell you that the people that are coming on my show today are high on my list, tops in many senses of the word, and you'll find out why very shortly. I just want to make sure to do my really super quick announcements. First of all, in case you did not see on social media, I will be in New York City this coming week. Yay! It always puts me in a better mood because I get to go to my second home. So I'm going to be in New York City Wednesday. Oh, my God, and things are breaking in my kitchen. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, leaving Saturday morning, going to Chicago. So I will be in New York at that time. If you guys have time to come and meet me, please do. Obviously, that means I only have shows this coming week on Monday and Tuesday. Monday at 2 o'clock Central Standard Time, we are going to be having a representative of National Pet Safety coming on the show. And then on Tuesday, I'm so excited. The Prince of Venice food truck is coming on the show at 2 o'clock Central Standard Time. First of all, it's the only New York City vendor I've ever interviewed. Second of all, he's completely Italian, so let's hope he can understand what I'm saying. And third of all, it's a food truck. Who doesn't like a food truck, right? So I'm totally excited to check that out. So please tune in next Monday and Tuesday. In case you just missed my cute little note on Facebook right before the show, I just checked my stats, and we're at 64,000 with a 7% international following and across 20 states. Nationally, I should say. Am I excited? Yes. Am I proud? Yes. And so the thank you really goes to every guest, every person that listens, every person that shares, every person that just pays attention to me for like 5 minutes or 5 hours. You're phenomenal. You're sensational. And this show would not exist, of course, without my guests, without the listeners, without the publicists, without the people that come on it. So thank you so much. Reminder to everybody, Art is Alive Film Festival.yolasite.com. This is my second year. Please go ahead and keep submitting regular films, feature films, short films, web series, and youth films, along with screenplays. Screenplays, as you know, are set at $20. My youth films are set at $10 because they're young and they can't afford anything. And then, of course, shorts and features are at the bargain price of $25. And we are in regular submission time up until mid-April, in which case we go into the absolute last deadline up until June, and that's $30 on that. So please submit. Again, it's Art is Alive Film Festival.yolasite.com. Go to my Film Freeway page, and again, the name is Art is Alive Film Festival. And then, of course, obviously we have a place, I'm talking too fast again, on Facebook, Art is Alive Film Festival. One more quick reminder relative to my film, Love's Two-Way Mirror. If you haven't looked at it, I don't know why you haven't looked at it, but go do that. It's on Facebook. I would tell you the website, but frankly, it's so long I can't remember it. So just go to my Facebook page, Love's Two-Way Mirror. You'll be able to go ahead and see the teaser trailer, the snippet we have so far. You'll be able to see my appearance on the Morning Blend, which everybody enjoyed, probably more than me. And you'll just go ahead and check out all the details. We're doing new auditioning. I'm going to see the Housewives this coming week in New York, so we actually get to start doing table reads. It's getting real, people, and I'm just getting more nervous. So, yeah, go ahead and check out. If you feel inclined to donate, we're taking your money. We'll take your money morning, noon, and night. We need money. So, as you know, we're indie. Indie equals broke. And everybody understands what that word means. So please give if you can, and if you don't, just support us in one way or another. I'd appreciate it. So without further ado, instead of listening to me babble, let's listen to Emily and Sarah and get them on the line.
Hello.
Hello.
Hey, Cindy,
do I have you both? I have.
Do.
Okay, so Sarah, you talk first so I can hear your voice.
This is Sarah. Hi, how are you?
Okay. I'm nervous. I'm petrified. I won't lie. Emily's a big deal. She scares me. So I'm kind of afraid to have her on my show right now, if I'm not going to lie. Have you looked at her? I mean, have you seen her? I mean, you live with, you like practically
many times,
work
yes.
with her.
We go way back.
See? See? This is exactly what I'm talking about. And Emily, hi. This is our first, real conversation, I think. like real?
This is our first real conversation that takes place offline. We get to hear each other's voices.
I know.
Very exciting.
It's like freaky. I'm like, it's scary though. I mean, I'm nervous. I won't lie to you. Whenever somebody I know comes on the show, then the bar is raised like about 800% because there's no room for screwing up whatsoever. So I hope I don't screw up. I hope we talk about a lot of really cool things. But let's talk about the wedding first because, folks, she just got married recently. She's only been married about a month to Ryan, and she's beaming like every day. She's either having sex 30 times a day or she's just crazy mad in love, and I'm going with, well, probably both. But tell us about married life because it's new and it's fresh, and you're a stepmom too, so that takes some adjusting. And tell us about what that whole thing, that whole experience in the wedding, and taco wedding, by the way, I might add. I want to know what that means too.
Taco wedding.
Tell us about the wedding.
Sure.
Tell us.
All right. Well, so I will tell you, taco wedding, actually, everyone thinks we super love tacos. I mean, who doesn't love tacos?
Right.
And we did have a taco bar, but it is because my last name is Taffel and his is Cohen. So combined, T-A-C-O, we became Taco.
Aww.
So that's our nickname, and the kids actually, we're the Taco family here, so that kind of became our thing. So we had the taco wedding, and we had a taco bar and everything. The wedding was amazing. It was, I could be effusive and say it was magical and incredible. It was awesome. Sarah was one of my bridesmaids. She was beautiful and
why, thank you.
Indeed.
In a non-detracting kind of way, though.
No, and it's totally detracting, but it was totally okay because who doesn't want beautiful bridesmaids, right? You'd be surrounded by the best. But it was incredible. And then we went on the world's best honeymoon. We down the West Coast. We did Portland and Los Angeles, Palm Springs, through the desert. We've already decided that someday we shall retire in the desert happily. It was beautiful. And now I have 4 stepkids. 4. I've had 4 stepkids for years now, really, but it's official. I know everybody really knows about the 2 little ones, but we have 2 older ones, too. So I have quite the span, and it's been, it's interesting every single day. It has not been boring since the day I met this man, but I'm very happy for it. I walk around with googly eyes and smiles on my face, and everybody at Mugsy tells us quit it because he works at Mugsy as well. He's our graphic designer and website developer, and we had to, Sarah one day had to tell us to stop making googly eyes in meetings, and we thought we were being really cool about it. So
not at all. No, not at all.
How cool, though, is that? I mean, that's so sweet because, obviously, we talk about this a lot on my show. I'm really big on people need to be happy all the time. I post this stuff, as everybody knows, if you're reading this now, the little inspirations you give during the day. So it's nice to see that people are happy and in love and that their relationships are rock solid. It doesn't happen as much anymore, and that's really cool. I won't lie to you folks, though, because, half of us are like, yeah, that's so great, and we're single and alone and unwanted and in our little corner, some of us, me, for instance. Yeah. But we love on the show. So I'm super excited.
I will just say this. I have a theory that there's always somebody out there who is looking at you and thinking you are the most beautiful person in the entire world to them. You may not know it, but everybody has somebody who's looking at them like that. Yeah. I do. I absolutely do.
That's true. Yeah, I keep wondering. I think he fell down, got off his horse, couldn't find the horse, couldn't find my house, couldn't find my car. I always have every excuse under the sun. And I'm like, you know what? Now I'm too busy to care. So I'm like, you know what? When he shows up, maybe I just won't be ready for him. We'll just have to see how it goes.
Exactly.
But I'm so thrilled for you. I am. I'm so thrilled. And because we're all about shameless promotion, let's give a big shout out to Ryan because we know that he does freelance work, doesn't he, Emily? Let's talk about that. He does freelance work.
He does. He owns his own company as well. He's at Ryan Cohen Designs, and he is incredible. He does graphic design. He does website development. He's a photographer. He does all of our event photography. He does product photography. He does all sorts of stuff. He is super creative, logos and branding and everything. So he has, you can find him everywhere under Ryan Cohen Designs and Ryan Cohen Creates. RyanCohenCreates.com and Ryan Cohen Designs on social media.
Gotcha. Now, before I switch over to Sarah and talk about her personal life for a little bit, I have to ask you this question because, of course, I was creeping on you, and I want to know if you dress the children like elderly people all the time. Because, oh, my God, that was so cute. I saw that picture of the little kids and the 100-day school thing, and I'm like, oh, my God, they're like little people. It was like a little chaplain and the other thing, and I'm like, oh, my God, you just want to squeeze them, right? That's so adorable.
Seriously. Well, first of all, I'm lucky because I have, like, the two cutest stepchildren in the entire world, right? So that I lucked out on. I might be a little biased, but they're adorable.
Right.
So when you dress them up as little old people, it's cuter. And we don't do little people every day, but I will say we do a lot of dress up. We do a lot of costumes here. So, yeah, we dress up quite a bit here.
That's very cool, though. I like that because it's not normal. I mean, it's not the norm. You know what I'm saying? I like people that do the out-of-the-norm stuff. I get really super excited about that. That's awesome. Okay, we're going to flip over to you, Sarah, because I've looked at you, and, of course, you got beat by the beauty stick, too. So now we have both you and Emily, and you're both cute. So tell us a little bit about you personally, meaning children. Are you married, et cetera, et cetera? Some of the things that you like to do, because I'm guessing you don't burlesque dance like Emily. I'm just going to guess. Maybe.
I do not,
Maybe not.
but I was at most.
Okay.
I was always at most of her shows.
Indeed. That's
really?
one of the best supporters.
Yeah.
Oh, very cool. I like that. That's awesome.
Yeah, Sarah and I have been friends for a long, long time before we ever opened Mugsy.
Oh, yeah. That's where we
goodness.
first met, is at another PR firm. That's how we knew, well, let's do a PR firm together. We've already worked together, so we know it'll work.
Uh-huh. Oh, right. I get you. And the dynamic works well together. Although they say sometimes, though, I've noticed this, there are some partners like husband and wife or like really close friends. How do you make sure that it never gets to a point where you're like walking into the office and you're like, you know what, hand up, don't talk to me today. You know what I'm saying? There is a theory that some people say that too much time together can be like a little too much friction.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
There's still days.
And they're laughing, folks.
Well, we definitely, we still have, I am married and I don't have kids. So obviously, like, my weekends are different than their weekends. They've got birthday parties or, family events, and I'm over here with my husband and the dog, and we're going out for a night at the town to have drinks downstairs, taking the dog.
Right.
So we definitely have that separation socially, but we still have a lot of the same friends, but we also have different friends. And that's kind of how, and we always did. We just always have, the different sex and everything. So that's how that all works out. But there are some times, definitely, like Emily's not a morning person and I'm not a night person. So if I talk to her before 9, it doesn't work. And if she wants to talk to me at like midnight, I'm passed out.
Yep.
Gotcha. Okay.
So we actually, Sarah a lot of the time knows that if we have morning meetings, for instance, we have stayed sane by her showing up with a cup of coffee, and she just hands it to me, and I'm like, you're my savior. And in the evening, I get to events early and pour her a glass of wine, and she gets them like, here you go. We just have a couple more hours to go. Let's do this. We split the days,
Oh, my God, how cute. That's awesome. Okay, now, Sarah, is your husband a creative as well, or does he work with the company as well, or is he completely separate from this?
No, he's completely separate. He does things. He's a numbers man. I'm a words girl, so definitely not in the same. But it works out because I don't know if I would ever want to work with my husband. We didn't meet working.
Really?
So, yeah, I don't know if that.
I gotcha. There's nothing wrong with that, as a matter of fact. Actually, there isn't. Separation can be good sometimes, but it works for, Emily, obviously, because they seem to be, outside of the googly eyes, of course, they seem to be making it all work, which is a nice recipe, in fact. And, folks, if you don't believe that's true, they were named as one of the top 14 best firms of Fort Lauderdale as it relates to PR. How amazing and fabulous is that? So if I ask you, what is it about that dynamic, besides the fact, obviously, that you have a very strong friendship, and not only that, a strong partnership with one another, what else is it about the firm itself that you think stands out to the point where you could be named the best of anything, let's say, as it relates to your area or in general? Tell me a little bit about what sets you apart. What sets you among different publicity firms?
I think the one thing that we hear often is that, well, two things. One is we're very genuine, and we truly are very genuine, nice human beings who want to see businesses succeed. We're not in it simply just to make money. Of course, we want to make money at this. This is our career, but we really do want to help businesses, and it comes from a genuine place. And a lot of the reporters we work with see that. A lot of the clients that we work with see that. And then Sarah and I have a very good balance because I am definitely more of the very big ideas. We get a new client, and immediately I start thinking of what is the absolute craziest things that we can possibly do to get this client noticed. And then Sarah says things like, no, we really can't fly a hot air balloon filled with puppies across an air, things like that. She stops my crazy. And so, she kind of tempers the crazy on my side, and then we meet in the middle, and we come up with some absolutely phenomenal publicity stunts and creative ideas and just story angles that really work for our clients.
Nice, very nice. And the other thing, of course, too, is because I don't know the Florida market a little bit, tell me a little bit about PR in general, meaning are you guys kind of inundated? Do you have a bunch of firms all over the place? Are you spread out? What's the market like there? Because I'm curious.
There's tons. The good thing is we're very, Florida, there's a lot. Every day there's new firms that are opening up in Florida. You have your staples and some really big firms here, and then there's a lot of smaller boutique firms like ours that have opened up over the years. But I think the nice thing about the South Florida market, and I don't know the same necessarily in New York and such, so you'd be able to speak to that more. But here in Florida, it's a nice. We actually partner often with a lot of other local PR firms on different projects, on things where we have a specialty or they have a specialty. So it's really nice. Yeah, it's not, even though there's a lot of us, everybody kind of knows each other and they work together.
That's very cool. I like to hear that, too, because sometimes that's obviously not all the case, clearly, because we're all in one big pool together, and when you do the same thing together, I've noticed sometimes there can be a sense of competition. There can be a sense of nepotism in some cases. It just depends, so it's refreshing to hear that, as a matter of fact. Now, when you, both of you ladies, obviously, and I'll start with you, Sarah, when you were a little girl, I'm guessing you didn't jump out of bed at the age of like 9 or 10 and say, yes, I want to work in public relations, or did you?
I don't know. I remember because my sisters make fun of me, and even my parents still make fun of me because at one point, I don't know if it was like second or third grade when it was, what do you want to be when you grow up? I mean, yeah, when I was in kindergarten, it was like, oh, I want to be an artist. But then second or third grade, I'm like, I want to be a successful businesswoman. So that was definitely, yes, and I still get a little made fun of for that, but I'm like, whatever, guys, making it happen.
Wow.
And that's why we get along because, when I was little, I used to put myself to sleep at night by taking my lunchbox, and I'd walk around my bedroom and pretend it was a briefcase and I was going to an important business meeting. So, that's how I got tired at night. Yeah. That's what Sarah and I make such a good friend.
Apple juice and, my dad's whiskey cups, he'd have, a nightcap on Friday, and I'd put apple juice in mine, and we'd cheers, and to an end of the long, hard day. I was cool. I mean, I was happening.
Oh my gosh.
And both of us, I think, if you put either one of us put at a big desk with a big chair, we're going to be we'll spin around in that thing, feet up on the desk, we become little kids again. I think both of us kind of, not that PR was our dream, but business.
Yeah. No, I understand. I get that, as a matter of fact. Well, and the one thing that I was
wait, Cindy, was yours to be a filmmaker?
Well, no, actually, and it's funny that you bring that up because I was just, when I was talking about my hangover at the start of this hour, I was out with people auditioning them last night, and I won't lie to you folks because, you've followed me long enough to see I don't sugarcoat things. I'm very honest about things. I have a beautiful screenplay, and as you know, as a writer, that's a work of art. And so when you have this beautiful work of art and you think, oh, I'm going to transfer it onto film now, it's a beautiful piece of art that turns into a business proposition. That's, I guess, what I'm struggling with. So, when I was a little girl, oh, my God, yes. All I ever dreamt of was being on that red carpet in Hollywood. And now I am on a red carpet, and all I'm thinking is, it's not what I thought. It's kind of a bummer. Yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong. If I could bottle up and show you what I have seen in doing the teaser trailer and the auditions, these people are healing. They need this project as much as I do because this project is really a healing project for me. But, no, I mean, make no mistake. I'll do this film. I'm doing 2 documentaries, and I'm like done. I'm like, I'm not doing it anymore. It's just too much work.
Yeah.
I mean, you girls are self-employed. How fun is it to have to answer to, well, you do answer to your clients. I answer to clients now because now I do entertainment PR, and I answer to my radio show guests. I answer to you, Emily, because you have clients that come on.
Mm-hmm.
And then now I'm answering to actors. I'm answering to the union. I'm answering to Hollywood actors. I mean, the list is getting pretty high. And I'm like, oh, my God. It's like, yeah. So, no, the short answer is no. Cindy was going to be an author when she was 8. She said that. First she said she was going to be an artist, like Sarah said, and I drew spiders, and then I realized I suck at this. I literally suck. I can't draw to save my life. I said I better find something else. And I found something else, and here we are now, which radio isn't really writing, but it is because I wrote your interview today. And from what I hear, I'm pretty good. That's what Emily tells me. She's like, she's pretty good.
I do.
I think. I don't know.
She is.
I have to tell you, folks, Kristen Lynn, her client, was, of course, I think the first time you and I ever worked together. And so it was just so nice because I have to tell you guys, Emily is not only thorough and professional, but she's relatable and she's sweet and she's not very stuffy. You know, because you can get sometimes, I love all my publicists that I work with, but sometimes once in a while you come across a publicist that's very serious and very staunch and please confirm and please set the confirmed date and please set the confirmed time and send this. And so very stuffy. And her client very refreshingly was just as vibrant and wonderful as she is. I mean, Kristen is absolutely lovely, which reminds me, maybe she could give me some music for my film. This is like the second time I think I'm asking. Please? Since you're on the phone.
I know. I know she will. She totally wants to. She just got the brand new album out, so it just came out in February, and it really truly just debuted. So now everything is out and it's released, and then she has other tracks that haven't been released. So we got stuff to send you. But if anybody wants to check it out, they can go to KristenLynnMusic.com and listen to the new album.
Amen. Look at that. We're just doing more shameless promotion. It's crazy on the show. We just promote the heck out of absolutely everybody, absolutely without a doubt. So, so obviously, of course, I have to ask this question, Emily, because one of the things that I noticed when I was creeping on you, of course, is that you have a Bachelor of Science. So I'm saying to myself, funny how that doesn't say public relations, communications, business, etc. So I'm like, what's she doing with that science degree she's got there? Are we doing something with it?
It depends on the day you ask me.
Today, for instance.
I actually, today no, but last week a bit. I started actually as a theater major. So when I started in school, I went in for the Bachelor of Fine Arts at University of Miami. And then I was there for a year, and I realized that theater was not what I was going to end up doing as a full-time gig. And University of Miami is really expensive. So I took some time off. I went back to school at Nova, and I thought, you know what, let's get into some other more interesting things. So I actually split my degree for a while, and I did go for film for a bit, and then I went into communications, and then I also went into some biology, and that's how I ended up with everything. It's because I thought I could become a soap maker, and I won't even lie about that. I have always had a dream of moving to the middle of the woods. Sarah has a dream of moving to the beach. I have a dream of moving to the middle of the woods and making soap, and that was what I thought perhaps could happen. And maybe one day it will.
Okay, then.
Yes, indeed.
Soap. That's so cool.
I picture a little storybook cottage with Ryan in my little garden, and I can pull some flowers and herbs and make soap. And I make soap in my free time for fun, but we'll see what happens.
That is so cool. So you actually make soap now? You actually make it?
Yeah, no, I don't sell it or anything. I do it for fun. But, yes, I do make soap.
Seriously? You've been holding out this whole time? I have terrible dry skin. I literally could be using your soap now.
I will
totally
send you
didn't know
soap.
that.
I will totally send you soap. My stepfather has diabetes, and he's got very dry skin because of it. So I make him soap.
Right.
I'll send you soap.
How cool is that? That's absolutely awesome. Thank you. Does that mean, Sarah, do you have hidden talents as well? Do you make wine at home? Please say yes. Just kidding.
I drink wine. I definitely drink wine, plenty of it, many of a cork stashed away everywhere. I don't think I have any hidden talents. I have. Well, I play the piano, but it's not really hidden. I mean, there's a big piano in the middle of my apartment, so there's no way to hide it.
I like that.
Don't let her fool you. Wait, she also tap dances.
That's not in a while.
OMG, serious?
I did an adult tap class, because I did it when I was in elementary, middle school, and I'm like, screw this. I love tap dancing. I want to do an adult tap dance class. And I did. And it was awesome. And I still have my shoes.
Cool. Aw, that's so sweet. I love that. That's cool. Now, I want to switch gears for just a second and ask a very serious question, because obviously I don't get a chance to speak to a lot of folks from Florida, and obviously we all know the tragedy very recently. And we all talked about the other day, like my kids, for instance, participated in the walking out of school for 17 minutes, etc. But because you're right in the heart of the area, tell us a little bit about how things have been since this incident occurred, and moreover, are there things that we out-of-state people can do to help still at this point? Maybe not so much with the healing part, but just anything that we can do. We all kind of feel paralyzed and helpless standing in the sidelines, you know?
And I'll take this one just because Marjorie Stoneman Douglas was actually the high school that I went to. That's where I graduated from for high school. And it's the community I grew up in. It's where I still live. I live in Coral Springs. So we're still kind of in the heart of the community where this happened. And so it definitely, it shook the community as you would expect. It's been a very weird feeling overall here. You know, you go into Publix even, or grocery shopping, because I know Publix may not be known up there. But you go grocery shopping and you can just feel like a different vibe in the store and stuff. So it's been different. We even closed down for a few days right after it happened just so we could go out and volunteer and help out.
Sure,
with the march coming up tomorrow, I mean, it's incredible. I mean, there's about 20,000 people coming into the city alone to come to the march here.
Wow.
And then even more than that, going out to Washington, D.C. and such. So it's insane what's happening here tomorrow. And as far as being out of state, I mean, there's so many different funds that people can donate to that are going to the victims and to help with securing the schools and just schools throughout the community. But especially, you know, Douglas itself is a very open campus. So they're looking to make some changes there, and the Victims Fund. Sure. So the Broward Education Foundation has the official fund, and people can go to their website. I think it's browardeducation.org, and they have all the information on there.
Lovely. I appreciate that, yeah. And it's so heart-wrenching to watch. And every time, obviously, of course, when we were doing the television segment, sadly, earlier this week, of course, that there was another high school incident. And I have to tell you, it's really frustrating. It's tough, and it's a center of controversy. You know, you've got some people that are like, oh, take the guns away, of course, and then some people are like, no, make the gun laws different. And I'm saying, you know, regardless of the weapon, death is death, and killing someone is killing someone, and we really need to address people stopping hurting each other. And why don't we try loving each other instead of hurting each other? You know, why can't we just bridge the gap there? But it's sad. It's a very sad time that we live in, unfortunately, and I'm sorry, and know that many of us are sending prayers and hope and faith and love to all of you, obviously, and to everyone across the country who's having to go through this, especially the parents that are having to bury their children. It's just devastating to me, literally, and I can't tell you how much it hurts, literally. I'm more of an empath, so it's like kind of everything just shakes me to the bone when those things happen. So know that we're with you. And speaking of being with you, word on the street is I'm going to a wedding in 2 weeks, and it's in Florida. I'd ask you to be my date, but apparently you're both taken. Just saying. Can't hook me up because they're both married. However, I'm going to say this on live radio. I tossed about it, but I'm going to ask. So I'm sure this guy is one of your clients. But you have this attractive-looking guy that you know, Emily, that I, of course, was creeping on you as a journalist would. And I don't know if you handle him or not, but he's probably too young for me. But he is – we should give him a gratuitous shout-out if you represent him. He's the hip-hop guy. I don't have his last name. Joey. Joey? Does that ring a bell?
Joey Sexton. Is that who you're talking about?
Yes, that's it. Him.
Well, I will tell you that Joey Sexton is single. He's young, but I don't know if he'd be opposed to, you know. He is.
How young are we talking, Emily? Like obscene?
No, it's not obscene. I mean, he's legal. No, he's
legal.
I would say he's
good.
Probably mid-20s right now.
Oh, my God. Girl, I got a son that age. So that's a definite no-no. But he is darling. And since we brought him up.
He is.
And is he a client of yours?
He's not. He's actually a longtime friend of mine who some of our clients have performed with.
Nice.
So
okay, well, then
I've known him to
talk
throw.
About him.
Yeah, absolutely. Joey Sexton. I think I have to look up his website now to make sure I'm giving the right shout out.
Oh, I'm sorry.
He's on. Oh no, that's okay. But he's on Facebook. His name is Joey Sexton. I don't know his website, Cindy. That's terrible. We don't rep him. I'm not a terrible PR rep, but I am a terrible friend apparently.
No.
But
I just figured since we were talking about
music.
him. Yes, I heard a little
I'm going on his Facebook
something.
right now to make sure that I can give his website a shout out. But he just actually released a new music video. And
my gosh,
always films
Joey,
down
if you're
South
listening,
Florida.
which you may or may not be, come on the show. Feel free to come on your show, or come on your show. Why don't you come on my show, Joey, and you could promote your material.
Yeah.
And you're too young to date, apparently, or to go out with, so much for that one. But no, we did want to throw a shout out there, because actually I did listen to a snippet of it. It's really pretty good, actually, for a younger guy. That's not bad. I was actually impressed.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, so way to go there, Joey. That's awesome. Speaking of that genre, that area, I want to talk about this. I know you guys have done a PR workshop for local musicians, which I'm totally all about that, because I actually rep somebody here in town locally who's a musician. So talk about that a little bit. I think that people on the what is perceived as the lower level, because oftentimes I talk to musicians and they're like, well, we're not anybody, we're not famous. And that's not true. So tell us a little bit about the means and the motivation behind giving this workshop for the musicians, and what do they take away from that? What do you bring to the table to them that they find so helpful or useful through those workshops?
Sure. So we actually started those because when we started Mugsy, one of our very first clients was a restaurant in Sunrise called Gigi's Music Cafe. And Gigi's Music Cafe was really big on bringing in local performers to come in every single night of the week. And they would hold shows, and they were allowed to basically, free venue, come in and just really supportive of the local community. So while we were working with Gigi and trying to come up with publicity ideas for her, we realized that a lot of these musicians, we would say to them, we'd love to help promote you, and you'll be at Gigi's. Send us your information, send us your photos, send us links, send us, all the normal information you would ask for, and they didn't have that. They just really didn't have a package together. So we thought, all right, here's where we can be of service and help these up-and-comers who we have a bleeding heart for, artists and performers and musicians and magicians and just every industry of performance that we want to help them. We really do believe that as media coverage is getting harder and harder to obtain, even for larger scale clients and celebrities, it's getting almost impossible for these newcomers. And yet, obviously there's YouTube and things like that. But as far as how we can help them, we're able to help them cultivate their package, create a brand, and not just, them sending cold calls and emails out and packages and EPs and all that.
Right.
We're able to help them put together exactly what it is that they need to send out to managers, to media, to get noticed. And then during those particular workshops that we do, we sit with them and we help them cultivate pitches that they can send out. We talk to them about the different contacts that they want to reach out at outlets and things like that, so that they leave with a good working knowledge of what their next step would be.
Very cool. Very, very cool. And I like that mentality, too, because oftentimes, people in the PR world, folks, just so you guys know, Emily is one kind of publicist, whereas I could be one kind of publicist. Every publicist has their own means and methodology, I think, behind what they do. I think that they're motivated by certain things, and their methods are different ways. And I love the fact that you're so good-natured and grounded, and you're not – we live in a world of, A, B, C-list celebrities, that sort of stuff. People get labeled by things, and labeling is a huge thing for me. I don't like it when people get called, well, they're on the B list, or they're on the A list, or this isn't a top-tier publication or a top-tier person. Everybody's top-tier to me. Everybody gets celebrity status on the show. So see, today, you're a celebrity. Isn't that awesome? We're a celebrity every day. But today you get to be a celebrity because you're on my show, of course, which is actually way kind of cool. Speaking of which, I have to ask you guys this. Do you have a celebrity crush? Because I haven't asked that for a while. I'm like, let's ask the girls, do you have a celebrity crush?
I do, but mine's useless. Mine is Matt Bomer, and I'm madly in love with him. He's gorgeous and such. He's gay. He's got a husband and 2 kids, but that's my celebrity crush.
There's nothing wrong with gay celebrity crush. That's kind of okay. That's awesome.
Right? Well, yeah,
okay,
right.
Sarah,
my
what
husband
about you?
loves it.
Well, exactly. Of course.
Since I'm a Food Network junkie, I think my celebrity crush would be Scott Conant. He's usually one of the judges on Chopped. And I've actually eaten at his restaurant, so I'm just imagining, like, come over sometime and cook me something there, Scotty. Let's do this.
And I'll tell you, Steve Martin's my other, and he broke my heart because we invited him to the wedding, and he didn't RSVP.
Oh, really? Are you sure he got it? I was going to say, you have to tell me, you realize, folks, that she just got to see both Martin Short and Steve Martin perform together not so long ago. I'm so jealous of you. I can't stand it. So give the goods. How was it?
Well, that was amazing. Honestly, like just 2 hours of nonstop laughing. They were awesome. They sat there, and you could tell that so much of it was like improv, and it was one of the best shows I have seen. If it comes to anybody's city, y'all should go see it because they're touring.
That is so awesome. That is, and I would love to see that. I'd love to interview them, especially Steve Martin. I think Steve Martin is very dashing in a certain way. He's older, he's got the gray hair, whatever, but he's just classic. I still remember The Jerk. That's like one of my favorites of his. I'm like, can you remember The Jerk from like forever ago? I'm like, I absolutely love that movie. That's okay.
One of my favorites.
So I have to ask a question because I saw Emily was holding a lizard, and then I happened to look at her wrist and I noticed, is that a wrist tattoo that you're donning there?
I have a couple of them, yes. I have tattoos on each wrist, actually. So I don't know which one you're talking about, but I have two and then one on my hand. So,
very cool.
I have.
Does that mean that Sarah has tattoos? No, Sarah, do you have tattoos too, or no?
I have one. I just have one behind my ear that says Scaro because it's, my name and Instagram and all that good, and Twitter and all that good stuff. And,
Gotcha.
It makes me sound like a superhero, Scaro, when you put it all together.
That is so cool, as a matter of fact. Now, do I see or envision, or do you already have, of course, the Ryan tattoo? Or is that going to happen, or do you have something symbolic of your husband?
Not yet, but we've been talking about getting matching taco tattoos.
It.
Yeah. That'll be coming.
You called it.
Oh, I knew it. See, of course, because they're so like Ken and Barbie, right? Am I wrong? Are they totally Ken and Barbie? Because that's what I'm picturing. Like, oh, and this cute little thing. Because I've seen your husband. I have. And I'm very proud to say I'm completely not attracted to him. That's awesome because I've seen some men where I feel guilty, where I'm like, oh, my God, they're good looking and I shouldn't look at them. Do you know what I mean? Like, you look at them and you're like, oh, my God, I have to stop. Like, every time I look at Thor, I'm like, I know I'm crazy in love with you and I know you're married and I shouldn't do it, but I can't help myself. You take your shirt off and it's like, so yeah, I mean, you should be happy to know, Ryan, I have no attraction to you. I'm sure you're lovely for her. Definitely not for me, but I was like proud of myself. I'm like, yay, there's no attraction. That's awesome. I know I'm strange.
That's
it's okay.
So funny.
I found out in creeping on you, and this is so badass, and I can't believe you didn't tell me this. You have an IMDb profile, and I saw that you did the TV series, but you did PR for those TV and film projects, which I don't even think I knew that. OMG. Talk about doing PR for TV and film, because I, of course, do PR for film as well. And then Sarah, of course, have you delved in that entertainment side of things as well?
We definitely did some movie PR together as Mugsy. Yeah, we did one out here in Florida, and then one. What was the one? Did we do in California too, Emily?
Well, we did the lookalike. So I think that's the one.
Yeah.
And then when we went up to, we did some in California we partner sometimes with IPPR, which is International Powerhouse PR. And so they do a lot of like arc light and dark light films and all that.
Yeah.
Sure.
So, we worked with them. But yeah, that's actually I started in entertainment PR. Well, Sarah and I together started in luxury and yachting PR. And then when we split from the firm that we worked at together, I went into entertainment PR for a while. So, that's where a lot, I guess, some of my IMDb stuff, I never really think about it, but that's where some of my IMDb stuff came from. And then when we came back together as Mugsy, it's just super fun to do the red carpets. I mean,
Yeah,
I know it is.
Yes,
I know. It is totally fun. Now, give me your take on this, because I, of course, am inundated by this. This is what I do now in part, obviously. So what do you think of that whole, because obviously I'm guessing you didn't represent an actual Hollywood production, which means you kind of fall in the indie thing like I do. So what are your impressions of the indie film industry? You know, and I mean that as a person, not just a PR person, but just in general, your overall, because most people don't really understand it if they're not in it. So I try to give them a glimpse of what things are like.
Well, I will say this. There's a reason we don't specialize in it, because it is tough. I mean, we give you quite a lot of credit for doing it. It is definitely, on a publicist side of things, right? It's hard. It is so much competition. And there's so many films coming out at such a rapid pace nowadays, and then competing with digital and films that are able to be coming out, you know, so quickly online that it's tough. And so, I look at it, and we did 1 year of festivals, and the amount of just go, and it's really nonstop for the full season. I give you guys all a lot of credit. It's a very tough industry.
It is.
And the indie
hard.
side is tough. Yeah.
It's tough to get out there. It's tough to, clearly a lot of these festivals too, what I don't think people understand is it is a labor of love, because you're getting laurels and you're getting appreciation and things like that. And you are networking with the people you want to. But, you know, there's not like a ton of money in this either. I was like, that's why when I started my festival, I'm like, we need to raise money and give the money back. People don't realize how broke filmmakers go just on submitting to festivals. You know, it's $20 here, $30 here, and then multiply that by 100. You know, that's a couple grand right there before you even start with PR or anything else. Not that I'm trying to deter anybody, because I'm always go, team you, period. But, you know, it's a rough regiment. So, yeah, I'm pretty petrified being on the other side, because on one side I'm the founder of a festival, and now on the other side I'm a filmmaker now. So it feels weird, you know. Definitely scary. So be happy that you do what you do. Kudos to you guys that you're not doing this, because, it's kind of creeping me out a lot. But kudos to you on that one, actually. Now, can people still watch Fireside Chat? Because it was a TV series. Can we watch it now, or can we, if they listen today?
Yes. I mean, they technically, I guess, yes. They can go online and find it.
Okay.
YouTube, I'm going to guess, still has it up there. I haven't looked in a very long time, but I know for a while it was on YouTube, yes.
Oh, cool. I was just curious about that, because I'm like, if you want to go back and check it out, we want you guys to be able to have all resources to find these guys, obviously. I also noticed, maybe it's just me, Emily, but you have this habit of changing your hair color, because I've seen at least 3 different versions of you now, if not more than that, which I think is so cool, because I do that myself, as a matter of fact. And a little fun fact, because I never bothered to look, but we're both Cancers. That's probably why we get along so well, because I'm a July baby as well, which is very cool. So, Sarah, does that mean that because you're very close friends to her that you don't change your hair? Because I'm getting that you're kind of opposite here. So that means no hair changes for you, and you're completely opposite on the horoscope spectrum? Or?
I mean, I went from brown to red, and I definitely like the red better, but not like fire engine red, like hair color red. And I have a little stripe that I got that's, you know, a little fancy red accent hairpiece, which she helped inspire. But I don't do we already get mixed up so much with our clients. Like, they mix us up. They call me Emily, call her Sarah, or they just call us, hey, Mugsy, and they're not sure. So I kind of like when she's changing the hair, because they definitely then can tell us apart. Right now, our hair is similar and close to the same length. So they're like, I'm going to call you Emily, but then I figured I'd just say the opposite and I'd be right. So, hey, Sarah. And I'm like, yeah, you're right. Good job.
Oh, my God. That is too funny. And I have looked at you, but honestly, I can kind of tell the difference. And maybe it's just because I haven't formally seen you in person yet. But I do think there is a bit of a distinctive difference. I mean, facially, like when I look at the both of you, I can tell you apart. You know, I mean, obviously, maybe it's just me, but you do beam. Both of you do. Either you really love what you do, or you're both very much in love, or it's both. But you really do. There is that beam on your face. I don't know if you noticed that or not. Just an observation. Throwing it out there.
Yeah, I got to be honest. Like, I think we're generally, we're pretty darn happy. Like, we started Mugsy so that we didn't have to work at a corporate firm and, not be able to dye our hair colors and not, you know, work with clients we didn't want to. Like, that's why we started Mugsy. So when we started, like, our rules for Mugsy, when Sarah and I first came together, we were like, we're never wearing a business suit again. We are we are walking into these meetings in what we normally wear, because we hate that. We will only work with people whose personalities we actually like. And we don't take clients just to take clients or make money. We really are very picky about who we work with because we want to stay this happy. We're this happy because we've made it that way at this point. And we've, our first few years was a learning curve of how to get to this point. But I think, we are at a point where, like, we wake up every day, we're like, all right, let's do some Mugsy stuff. Cool.
Well, I think we also didn't want to take, the clients that we weren't really passionate about, too. That's why we did a lot of the music, and we do a lot of what we call more fun for us, but it's just because we really like them. Like the clients that we work with and, like, what they actually do, it makes us happier to go into work and work for them. So that was definitely one of our things because, part of my background was a medical background, which was cool but boring.
And now look at you guys. You get to actually, my roommate said that to me today too. He was like, "Isn't that cool that you get to work from home?" And I'm like, "It is cool, but it is actually work." And I think share your experiences on this, ladies. In terms of, I don't think people really realize when you're at home sometimes, or if you're in a home office per se, it is a challenge to stay disciplined. I'd rather get up and dance, or I'd rather sit and watch, my new addiction, which is, have you guys seen Good Girls yet? You have to watch that show. I'm addicted. I'm like, it's only been 3 shows. I'm like addicted to it because I like Christina Hendricks. That was the girl from Mad Men. Of course, who doesn't? By the way, because you love me, I know you're going to say, yes, Cindy, I have the cell phone of John Hamm, and I'm going to give it to you so you can host Donald Draper on your show. And this is where you say yes. And I'm waiting. And I don't think she's going to say yes.
A celebrity crush now.
Right?
Oh, my God. Right? And now he's doing H&R Block commercials. So, like, I get excited every time H&R Block comes on because I'm like, oh, my God, it's going to be John Hamm. Little celebrity crush there.
Those are great commercials, too.
I know, right? He's just so clever. And he just looks like somebody you could sit and have a drink with. You know what I mean? Like, not really Donald Draper, but not really like celebrity. Just kind of like I could just stare at you all day. Sorry, I'm back into my crush again. Okay, sorry, but enough about John Hamm for the second. But no, talk a bit about how difficult, or is it difficult for you ladies? Are you able to walk into a room and be like, okay, work mode right now, and we're disciplined, and this is the way it's got to be? Because you technically, I do PR now, so it's not like they call me up and yell at me, you know what I mean? It's like your bosses are there, but they're not. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. We definitely, I'll give you a very good example. We, the other day, woke up and it was just not a good pitching day in general. When you have breaking news in your area, or when, shooting or something happens, you can't pitch that day. And it does shake you, and you work from home, and you do have to kind of motivate yourself. And so you made a funny point where you said, sometimes you feel like dancing, but you can't dance. And we have the opposite opinion, which is if you feel like dancing, dance, because that's why we do what we do, right? We started our own firm because if you feel like dancing, get up and dance. If you want to go, have lunch,
get up and get on my bike. And
there you go.
I've got a little spin bike in my home office, and if I get I'm tired of doing this for right now, before I got on the call, I was on the bike for 30 minutes. Just we brainstorm some other things. It just kind of helps churn the brain a little bit when you feel like you've been stuck for a little bit. So I'll get on and hop off, and then I still have my computer there so I can watch, which I kind of like that too. I've got my own little bike workstation, double workstation.
Oh, cool. Yeah. That's awesome. And okay, so you guys do work
today
out.
Sarah does.
I hate working
to work out.
Oh, my God.
I hate to work out. But I do love dance parties with the kids. I love dance parties with the kids, but that's what I do.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Yeah. But, Sarah, you have to help me out here because I just was complaining about this on social media. I have a health condition now because I had that partial stroke. So, obviously, you need to start doing exercise. So, you have to go to the gym. Now, if you knew me, you would know that I'd rather, take my teeth out than go to the gym. And let me tell you why. I want you to explain this to me. First of all, people are happy to go there. I don't understand that mentality. If you were filling my bottle with wine and I was working out with a wine bottle, I would get that. But first of all, they're happy. Second of all, they all have about 5 pounds of weight on them, and that's about it. So they're either all very tiny or all the men have all these muscles, and they're looking at themselves all the time. I'm like, what the hell are you looking at? So help me understand why people love the gym, because I don't get it. I'm like, I just dread this place. It's uncomfortable, right? Or am I wrong?
It definitely, no, you're not wrong, because I don't go to the gym for an LA Fitness or an Equinox or anything like that.
Sure.
I have my bike here, which I like, because if I want to And if I'm really not wanting to do it, I will treat myself afterwards. Well, if I get on the bike, I can have a glass of wine. Just turn on the TV and watch something. It'll go by super fast. And then I go to small classes, like with people, because I need someone telling me what to do. I remember going to gyms and just watching, like, the girls walking down the middle of the gym like it was a runway.
Right.
And that was
Right.
their gym experience. So I don't do those anymore at all. I go where people actually want to work, and then they go to work, or they want to work, and then they go about their day and, you know, maybe chat with everyone. Oh, good job, whatever. But we're all doing stuff. We're not no. I can't do the big gym like that. Not at all. Actually, one of our favorites, we had Ride Element as our client, and they're a cycling studio in Oakland Park. And that was the funnest thing ever. It's a class, and then they have these lights that turn on the ceiling, different times, different colors, and it goes to the beat of the music.
Wow.
So when you're about to get super tired, they turn on the lights, and you're like a kid. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is so cool! Let's go! Woohoo! That was really fun.
Oh, my gosh. Look at that. Well, yeah, okay, so it's good to hear that I'm not, like, crazy nuts. Because when I say that, like, I have friends who represent fitness clients, and they're all about fitness, and I'm like, yeah, I do this because I have to. So make no mistake, if I could sit home and eat donuts and Mountain Dew, I would do that, in fact. But I can't now, obviously, so I get it. So I've just never understood that whole thing. So, yeah, it's a little depressing to go to the gym. We got that. But discipline, I think, is important in terms of, obviously, if you're going to be self-employed, you need to have that. And second of all, as I see here, now Mugsy PR, which is the firm that these gals own and represent, obviously, has been in business a little over 5 years. So there's 5 major points I want to talk about with your business. And the first of all, at the bare minimum, I want to start off with this. Why do you girls believe, and even though it's your business, tell folks why you believe having someone do your public relations for you is a vitally important necessity for success, in your opinion? Oh, no. Have we lost these ladies? Oh, no. Oh, no. Let's hope that they call us back. My gosh. Okay. Well, sorry, folks. Let's give them just a second and see if they can get back on the line. We were having such a good interview. I don't know. All of a sudden, I started asking about PR, and they disappeared. Was that the magic question? Was that the bad question? Now I feel really bad. Hopefully, the ladies will give us a quick call back. In case you just tuned in or have been listening in for the last 50 minutes or so, the gals that we're talking to in question are Emily Taffel Cohen, and actually her partner Sarah, and the last name, I'll spell it out for you, actually, it's Caro. It's S-A-R-A, last name is spelled C-A-R-O. They both manage and have founded a company called Mugsy PR, and in case you didn't catch it or I didn't happen to mention it, they're located in the Florida area. So clearly, they've been in business, like I said, a little over 5 years. And it's so exciting to me to always be able to talk to individuals in this realm. First of all, because now I'm starting to do it myself. But secondly, when they've been in business substantially longer, they are a wealth of knowledge that I may not have. Oh, thank God they're back. Okay, let me get them back on.
We're back.
Okay, what happened there?
Sorry about that.
That was so weird. I'm like, I asked them about PR and they disappear. Ironic.
Yeah, we didn't want to talk about PR.
Yeah, apparently not. So let's just keep talking about John Hamm. Did I say that again? Sorry.
You're right.
So, number one, and the biggest question is, and I think it's important, folks, that you listen to this, because even though they work in PR, it's important to understand their beliefs about this. So tell us why you believe people having their public relations affairs in general handled by someone such as yourself is so vitally important for the success of a business today.
So my opinion is that with so many companies that are opening on a daily basis, you have so many, digital companies that come up as far, as well as brick and mortar performers that we talked about with the independent films. And you've got fewer and fewer people working in the media. You have outlets that are closing consistently. Right now is very hard. So you have, and on top of that, you also have things like Facebook and digital marketing efforts and YouTube, and that all plays into PR nowadays. So the truth of the matter is that if you own a business, we believe that your focus should be on running and maintaining your actual business. Whereas it may take somebody hours to get in touch with somebody in the media, it may take us or somebody like you who has that relationship already with a member of the media 5 minutes to make a phone call and get somebody on a line and set up an interview and get that set up for them. So it's a time saver. It's definitely, honestly, nowadays with so much pay to play, we're well aware of what outlets you have to pay to be in, what outlets you don't have to pay to be in, what outlets may tell you you have to pay, but you don't really. And you can get editorial coverage, and we know the ins and outs of that. And we've worked with all of these outlets for so long now that we do have established relationships. And so it's beneficial because if you're hiring somebody, we also feel like it's beneficial to use somebody outside your firm. Because if you're hiring somebody internally to run your PR, they're coming from one single mindset. And we have the ability to come into a company and see it from an outside point of view. And to pinpoint utilizing the knowledge that we have in public relations and the media relationships to say, here's the holes that we're seeing in what your plan is and what your strategy is, and let us help you revise that and make it work better for you. And it's just, I truly believe that it's just certain skills that we have in our industry that we've learned over the years that an entrepreneur opening a new business may be fantastic at one portion of it, but there's so many pieces that go into it that they would have so much time to spend on it. And simply going external and working with a firm, they save time, they save money in the end, they save effort and rejection of all the emails that don't get answered and things like that. So,
I get you. Got it. Well, and the second thing being is, of course, and we talk a lot about this, my friend, actually our mutual friends, of course, because we're all in this very large, beautiful PR marketing group together, things that I've talked a lot about with other people too, and you can address being in PR yourself. Tell folks what's the difference between an average and an extraordinary pitch that you put out there, meaning what do you find within your realm in your day-to-day pitching as far as going out and trying to get attention for your clients? What do you find the one main ingredient that's most effective when you're approaching anybody? Could be somebody in the media, could be a fellow PR person. What skill or what savvy do you bring to the table that you believe gets you more attention, gets that pitch accepted, gets you further with your clients?
Well, that's a good question. I think it depends, on who the reporter is. And it's not standard. So that's a hard thing to answer because for some, it is just a very genuine relationship. Like we have with you. Like you and I'm able to say, hey, we have a new client. You're like, great. Tell me about them. Right. Okay, fantastic. Let's work it out.
Exactly.
We have other media who we send a pitch and, they do require, let's say, samples or things like that, or we need to kind of schmooze them a little bit more. We have seen a big influx of reporters who are requiring more expensive or more unique offerings than what was required in the past in order to get the same level of coverage. So I think the one thing that maybe we could say would be the best recommendation overall is really do take a look at the story angle, take a look at what you're offering in the pitch, and make it the most unique option you possibly can. We have found that experiential marketing works a little bit better, so like offering to bring the media out to something. We throw a lot of events, or we do private tours and things like that, where it's on the reporter's time. It's not something, we found that helps a lot too, on their schedule instead of on the client's schedule. And, working it out with the client, but making sure that we can do it when the reporter's actually available as opposed to asking them to fit into our timeline has been working a lot lately.
Sure. Of course. I agree. Not that I get to go to any of these, by the way, secretly crying over here in the corner. Because I haven't been to Emily's event. I know. It's like it makes me so sad. I am coming, and I will be there eventually. But no, I agree with you. I think oftentimes, and I'm a journalist myself, as everybody knows, it's so much easier if you're already going to be there and then you find out somebody has something going on. It seems like most of us writers in general have too many things going on, reporting for too many other places, et cetera. So if we get the invite, of course, that's just a natural sort of given as it relates to that. Now, because we are talking about the field of public relations, obviously who Emily represents may not be somebody I represent or somebody else. So just, if you would, give us a broad strokes look at the types of clients that you represent currently.
It's broad right now.
That's what I figured.
We cover the gamut at the moment. Yeah, we do a lot of our work right now is localized, which it wasn't always. But currently we have a lot of clients down in Miami. We work with Concrete Beach Brewery, which is a beer brewery, Cycle Party, which is a pedal-powered party on wheels. It's a huge bike that fits 15 people in a bar in the center. It's really cool. And then we also represent things like Boca Bacchanal, which is a wine and food festival that's coming up in 2 weeks. So that's exciting. We love that event every year. And we have, and international clients. So we span. We have a client in Russia, which is Masha and the Bear, that crossed over to the United States this year. So we're excited to represent them. And, yeah, it's a big, big variety of clients.
Very cool. I like that. And do you find when you walk into a room and then you say to them, you're all sitting at a table and somebody wants to sign with you, is there one thing that you guys look for in your clients that's kind of a necessity? Like you both agreed, okay, we're only going to handle clients with this quality. Like, for instance, when I meet people, I automatically know that the biggest motivation for representing them is if they truly love what they do, and they could care less if they did it in front of 5 people or 500 people. You know what I mean? That just that innate passion and purpose for what they do. That, to me, is what makes me decide to work with them. Is there something that's standard with you guys where you're like, yeah, this has to be a necessity?
I think it's mainly that they're willing to think outside of the box with us, like for those experiential experiences for the media. And, okay, you may have this service that you provide like everyone else, but how can we make it different? What if we do take those puppies and fill a hot air balloon and, send them, if you're willing to do and that's usually what we find in like Cycle Party when we were having ideas for some tours. They're like, oh my gosh, yes, that's great. We want to do that now. Let's do it. And we're like, okay, great. But at the same time, still, other clients like, oh, I like that idea. I don't know if that'll work, but let's test it. So, just being able and willing to, take in some of those ideas, whether it works or not, we will work on it together and see how it goes.
You betcha. Now, I had mentioned this question to Emily before a while ago when I first thought about the idea of doing public relations. And so, obviously, I have a number of individuals that are all different ages that listen to my show. So if somebody's listening in today and they're on the teetering line and they're thinking, you know what, this sounds intriguing or this sounds exciting or this sounds fun, can you give them maybe some of the plus points and then maybe some of the downsides as it relates to public relations? Because we like to be fair and honest with folks. So just let them know that there is a great side and maybe a not so great side to this at times.
So I would say the great side of PR is that it really does, number one, it changes every single day. We have gotten to do some incredible things that we would never have had the opportunity to do without being in this industry. So we've gone to amazing events. We've thrown incredible, amazing events. We've traveled. We've met celebrities. It really does open up a lot of doors, and it gives a lot of opportunity. But behind the scenes, and Sarah can jump in on this too, it's a lot of hard work. It's a lot of early mornings and late nights and a lot of emails going unanswered and frustration and all of us calling each other and going, oh my gosh, we have to put this fire out and that fire out and all these rejection, and exactly when you have a client that you think absolutely this is a client that is going to get tons of coverage and everyone will want to write about them, and you get nothing, and you have to explain to a client why you don't have the results.
And it hurts so bad. Really, you put everything into it, and for not being as much coverage as you thought there would have been, it's like a dagger.
Yeah. So you have to have a thick skin. You have to just be ready to feel crappy about yourself sometimes and be able to overcome that and go back to it the very next day. And it's like being a salesperson. You're just selling a story.
Sure. Yes, I would agree with that, definitely. And, of course, obviously, folks, let me just say how well it works for them. Not only in addition have they been in business for a little over 5 years, but I also I love the fact that you've participated in all of the following. They've done and collaborated with the Association of Food Bloggers. One of their clients was on WSVN TV. They have been participating in the PR for a Day, as well as Social Media Day, as well as the Florida Social Con. Talk to me a little bit about that in terms of why do you feel, both of you, it's such a strong point for you? Why do you make it such a point, I should say, to participate in programs such as this? Why is that important for you to share your knowledge with everyone else?
Well, first of all, as a PR firm in such a saturated industry, we have the obligation to definitely keep ourselves out there as well. We don't do any advertising or marketing as far, for Mugsy, but we like to work with a lot of the associations, small business associations, things like that. And it's twofold. It helps us on our end for business, but we also really do believe that, same with the performers, these mom and pop shops, these smaller businesses, the food bloggers, and we love the Food Blogger Association. But all of these different groups, these are people who just simply want to grow their business, and that is what we have the knowledge in. And we are big believers in karma, and what you put out there comes back to you.
Yes,
and
amen, 100%.
Yeah. So that's really, we've happily been in business for 5 years. We've spent almost nothing on marketing and advertising. It's word of mouth. We believe that you put out good, you get good. And so we're very passionate about working with the local groups and speaking when there's ever an opportunity at the conferences and spreading what we know how to do.
That's awesome. And more importantly, I want to ask this question because I know, Emily, that you've been a freelance writer for a number of years. So to both of you, I ask the question as it relates to, can you tell the folks a little bit about how do you believe that having a strong writing background in some ways strengthens the firm? Meaning, can you just walk in having been a graduate with limited experience in terms of the writing area and still be able to pull off powerful PR?
We both definitely had a background in freelance writing for the local market, and you definitely have to have those samples to show. Like, you're not going to be able, because I even tried right out of college to go and work, in a publication, and they're like, you're a little too green, you need some experience somewhere in how to even just write PR pieces and newsletters, e-newsletters. Well, at that point, they were actually written newsletters. Dating ourselves, no e-newsletters. And press kits, putting together press kits and media, media alert, a press release, all that good stuff. And then even once we got into that content writing for our clients, then we could show that, and you can show that in your portfolio to become a freelance writer. And I think one of the main things that would be something for people to look into is really think of a niche for yourself. Like, if you want to be a freelance writer about fitness or about, food, find a firm whose many of their clients, they handle mainly restaurants. Go and see if you can intern for them and start writing some of their social media content even.
Good advice. Very, very sound good advice, as a matter of fact. And I have to ask this question, and this, of course, is to you, Emily, because, of course, when I looked in your background, whatever happened to the pretty useful stuff? Is that ever going to come back?
Oh, my God.
Remember time in whatever happened? That sounds awesome. So neat.
It was so much fun. That was one of my favorite things. I ran pretty useful stuff for several years. It will probably come back in some iteration relatively soon because I do miss it. But it was something that actually I put aside to, this is so silly, I put it aside to start working, it's not silly, it was awesome, to work on a Martha Stewart blog. I'm a big fan of Martha Stewart. She's like my idol. So I started a blog called Living Martha's Life, and I started following her calendar every day for a year that was in her magazine, and if she did it, I did it. And then I met her, and she broke my heart because she was really a little mean to me. And it made me...
Oh, no.
I know. And it made me so sad.
I don't
so
like
I stopped
hearing
doing
that.
that
I
blog,
might have to, bitch slap
right?
her. Oops, sorry.
Okay. Yeah, if ever you meet her, you tell her, she was mean.
Yeah, I don't do well with that.
My heart.
I'm like, don't be mean.
I don't either.
Don't you hate mean girls?
I agree.
I don't like mean girls. And there are mean girls. Make no mistake, folks. Sadly, even in PR,
yes, there are.
There's some mean girls, let me tell you, and boys.
Yes, there
I
are.
just blocked and deleted one of them. Just saying.
Yep.
So be nice,
folks.
Did you do That's the whole idea.
Is it who I know you're talking about?
Yes, I deleted him because I was just so mad. Because yes, folks,
good.
People bait. They bait and they say all this stuff, and then they push it. I swear, is it me? Do you guys ever get those people that go on your wall and it's like they do it on purpose? It's like they keep pushing and pushing and pushing, and they think it's cute. And I'm like, no, I have a real life and a job and kids and stuff to do. So I'm like, I can't, But no, boo to you, Martha Stewart. Boo.
Yeah,
Oh,
totally.
Okay, so anyways, I'm a little upset with this now. I don't know. I can't even believe that. But I get it. I understand. Not everybody can be nice as you. So just remember that. We're a little boo on that. So am I to take it then that we're not going to have any more pretty useful stuff ever? Ever?
No pretty useful stuff, but there is. I have another thing in the works. It will be coming.
Oh, can she say
soon.
it? Can she say? Can you
No.
tell us? Can you tell us?
It doesn't have. The website's not up yet, so I can't. Not yet. But when it is time, I will let you know. We do have, in the meantime, we have publicities, which everyone is welcome to.
I'm just
to
about
check out.
to ask that. That was my last question.
Yeah.
We're going to talk about that. If you guys follow me, you know that number one, I ride on the back of a Harley, which is awesome. And second of all, the other day I was on the back of a Harley in 39-degree weather, not even, it was 38 degrees. Freezing my patoots off. Yeah, it was, this is how you know I'm a rider, because I am on the back of a Harley in a fur coat and boots, and the publicities by Mugsy PR actually made a point of making the pictures, getting it out there. I'm like, I am not ashamed to wear this shirt because they're comfortable, folks. First of all, they fit. Second of all, they wash nicely, so it didn't shrink because now I'm fat, so I can actually fit into this. I was like, oh my God, I'm so excited. So tell the folks about where the idea for publicities came from, and of course, obviously, I assume they're for girls of all sizes and or boys, really, because technically, a boy could really wear the tank top if you think about it.
Yeah. So we actually have a couple of forms of T-shirts that'll be coming out too, a bit more men's shirts, but we started with a little more of the form-fitting T-shirts, but the tanks and the long-sleeve shirts are unisex, really.
Right.
But yeah, where did the idea come from? Sarah and I are, we have that creative brain, and we were sitting around one day and we were noticing that there are truly T-shirts for like everything else except public relations, and half the people we know don't even know what we really do for a living.
Right.
Yeah. My family still asks me to this day, what is it that you do? I just tell people that you're in advertising. I'm like, okay, so I guess I am in Mad Men. Cool.
Right. Yeah, my parents say I make things famous. If you ask my mom what I do, she makes things famous. And my kids will tell you that we make people famous on YouTube. So really, nobody got what we did. So we thought, let's come up with some fun shirts that you can show your PR pride, and then we realized there's a good crossover with media and marketing and all of that. So it became more just shirts for people in the communications industry. And we come up with, every time we come up with a fun new saying, we send it over to Ryan, and Ryan designs them for us. And
cool.
And we have a phenomenal local printer who works with us. They are the ones who found the awesome shirts, and they do the printing, and they are pre-shrunk, and they do not, the vinyl's awesome because it does not come out off in the wash. It doesn't crinkle or crack or anything. They're really good
Different
shirts.
colors.
And we're probably love this line. Yeah. We are going to be adding.
I love it.
Thank you. We're going to be adding some new ones and some new colors and things like that, too. So we're excited. There's new things coming.
Oh, my God. How exciting is that? Oh, my gosh. Goodness gracious. Well, I guess the only other question I have for you before all that other fun stuff comes, because you've heard my show, so you know what comes after this, don't you? Or have you heard my show? Have you listened to the show? I'm just curious. Did you listen? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, obviously, how else would you know how remotely okay I am? I'm only a representation of the fine guests that come on my show, by the way. So my final question is, if everybody's listening to you right now and they're like, oh, my God, I want to hire her like yesterday, what do they do? What's the easiest way? Do you think it's usually just approach you via the website? Can they find you locally in the near future where they can sit down and talk to you? Tell the folks where you're at.
Sure. So they can find us on mugsypr.com, MUGSYPR.com. And then they can find us on all social media under Mugsy PR. So Facebook,
right.
Twitter. Instagram,
and I'll read all that off.
We have publicities, so they can find us there. They can find, Yep, and we have the publicities page on Etsy. But if somebody wants to hire us right at this moment, the best thing for them to do is just send an email to info@mugsypr.com. It goes to everybody at our company. Gotcha. Somebody will grab that email and get right back to them, and we can get them set up. We do free initial consultations with everybody, so we'll sit down, we'll talk to them about what they need and what we can come up with for a package for them.
Very, very cool. I like that. And now, didn't you guys say you're going to be live somewhere, right, at a client's event or somewhere in the next few weeks? Weren't you mentioning that?
Oh, we are. So we have many client events coming up over the next few weeks.
Just
yeah.
in case, like, if somebody's in the Florida area and they listen and they're like, yeah, we want to go see them. You know what I'm saying?
Sure, most definitely. The biggest thing we're doing next is for Boca Bacchanal. We have Boca Bacchanal coming up April 6th and 7th, and April 7th is the really big event. That's Bacchanalia's. And so we'll be there, and bocabacchanal.com has information. Our website has information, so they can find info on that. We are doing another social media week event, so I'm still waiting on final dates for that, but we know that'll be in May, so we'll be there.
Cool.
Over the summer, we have another social media event that we'll be speaking at as well, and we are... Gosh, we're doing lots of events. Our blog is
doing
consistently. We really are. We're this weekend, as a matter of fact.
Yeah, we're going to Rock the Beach Battle of the Bands Beer and Brunch at Concrete Beach Brewery in Wynwood. So we're going to be there listening to three great bands, and they're competing to win. And there'll be food and I don't know what my favorite beer is there. I'm going to say the Rosé Ale. I think that could be my favorite.
Yeah.
Very cool. I like that. Okay. Now I'm going to read off all the ways where you can find these ladies. And, of course, you know the drill, obviously, Emily. About 2 hours or so after the show is done, it's archived. And, of course, I'll send you the link for that. I'll put it up on my YouTube channel. I'll send you the link for the YouTube as well, so you guys will have that. Now I'm going to read all this stuff off first. So the two people we've been talking to today, of course, Emily. Her last name is spelled Taffel hyphenated Cohen, and of course Sarah is Sanra, not Sarah, Sara, Caro.
Yes,
Caro.
She has an H. She has an H.
I do.
Oh, I'm sorry. Did I screw that up? Oh, darn it. There you go. Way to go, Journalism Friday. Thanks so much. And here we go. The website is, as she had mentioned, mugsypr.com, and these are all the following ways to find them, of course. They have Facebook personal pages and, of course, the Mugsy PR Facebook page. On Twitter, it's Mugsy PR, as well as Emily on the Ave, and that's AVE, by the way. LinkedIn, of course, both the personal page as well as the Mugsy PR page. YouTube, IMDb, Pinterest, Etsy, as well as the Instagram, Emily on the Ave. Any other place where we can find you guys? Anything that I might have missed?
I think you just covered it.
Dang, we got a lot.
I know, right? I'm like, no, I think that's it. You got it pretty good. Way to go, Sid.
Oh, awesome. Now we get to the best parts because I have a whole of 5 minutes before I have to go get my children. I don't know why I did this. Isn't it nuts how this, I see this every time and people think I'm crazy. An hour goes by like 5 minutes to me because like literally we're in an hour and almost 20 minutes. And I'm like, doesn't it seem like it just happened 5 minutes ago? It's nuts. So I'll try to make this brief because I could talk to you all day. You should know that already. Number one, let's talk surprises. Okay, so first of all, I might have mentioned to Emily that I, of course, was going to shamelessly promote your T-shirts by wearing them in different places. So I think I might have mentioned this. But you do know that I'm starting to shoot my film in the next month or two. Don't be surprised if the Mugsy PR T-shirts, or I should say publicities to be exact, are going to be in my movie. So now you're actually going to be in movie history. OMG, how exciting! That's number one. Number two is I think you ladies should try to structure an event, say mid-August, say right around New York City. And why do I say that? Because my film festival is now in its second year, Art is Live Film Festival, just saying, August 16th to the 19th. And the reason I say that is because you, my dear, have worked technically in the film realm, which means that you qualify to come to my film festival. So one of two things can happen. You could either talk on my writers panel, or you could bring all those happy little, again, did I say publicities, and bring them and sell them to everybody because I'm already blackmailing them to buy products to get certain things.
I love it.
So that's number two opportunity. I'm like, that's a great idea. Number three, I think you gals should find me a date for this wedding. John Hamm, anyone available, I'm just saying. So that's number three, as far as that goes. And of course, number four, certainly, I know that Emily had mentioned opportunities coming up with vendors and such. So, of course, I have clients that I would love to have work with you anytime, obviously. So that's kind of the fourth and final there. So now we get to that part where I get to tell you what I think of you. I've been waiting a long time to tell you what I think of you. So I'm going to try to... I'm going to try to get through this part without crying, actually. So we'll see how it goes. These things get done, folks, as they've been told repeatedly because of the fact that everything else is scripted. I research everything myself, and I script everything, and this is not scripted, which to me is the best part of my show because it's really actually just from my heart. So these are my impressions of the gal from Mugsy PR. First of all, I did not get a chance to know Sarah very well up until about an hour and 20 minutes ago. So what I can tell you, my dear darling friend, Sarah, or hopefully new friend, because I am on social media, and I pissed people off today, so you can add me now. Because that's what happens when you post about Trump or you talk about how you're really, like you admit that you're really depressed and then people are like, I don't want to talk to her. Anyway, Sarah, my dear Sarah, the one thing that I can tell you is, first of all, thank you so very much for being such a good friend to my new friend. What I have learned all of this time in knowing Emily is that anyone who is around her is graced by her presence, whether it's on the phone, whether it's on Facebook, whether it's through her clients, etc. And obviously, everyone around her is a representation of her. That must tell me that you are an amazing individual. So first of all, thank you for coming on and doing my show with her. Second of all, thank you for making her so happy. And third of all, I think that you're a very vibrant, very vivacious individual in all senses of the word. And I do hope I get a chance to meet you one day. So Emily, about that Emily. So, just so you folks know, I met this lovely lady through that beautiful PR group that we were talking about. And then, as I mentioned, she brought her lovely, and I do mean lovely because Kristen is absolutely lovely. Kristen Lynn came on the show. And so the very first time that I spoke to her, there are a number of publicists. Now I think I'm up to about 19 that I work with on a regular basis. And in all honesty, I can tell you that she is quickly become my favorite. Now, I'm going to give you the 5 reasons why that is. Number 1, I can speak to her and I can actually let my heart show, which is not something that I do very often. This is a very hard business. There are a lot of things that go on between PR people and the press, and sometimes it can be really hard to let your guard down, and she makes that very easy for me to speak from my heart. Number 1, that's very important because I don't do that very often. Number 2, she makes me smile in ways that she has no idea whatsoever. Her happiness, her joy, all of the things that mean so much to her, she's so giving and sharing about all of that, and it makes everyone else around her feel like it's okay to be them and okay to be happy, and that I admire. Number 3, she is a very self-sufficient, hardworking woman that puts 100% into herself, her loved ones, her friends, and everything that's important to her. That is the sign of professionalism, but also a huge sense of passion and purpose, which we talk about on my show all the time. Again, another reason to admire her. Number 4, who couldn't possibly happier? I couldn't possibly be happier for a woman who is so beautiful on the inside and the outside. And again, that's not something that I see every day on my show or in my life. So for me, that's very important. And number 5, you posted something very recently, and I thought to myself, what thing could I say to you that would be bigger and better than anything else? And you should understand this because it was on your wall. So the last thing I can just say is, I love you to the moon and back, because you know why that matters so much.
Yeah.
That's what I think of you, my dear Emily. So that's what I think of you. That's it. See? I mean, that's all I can tell you until I see you in person. You know, because I'm hoping that I'll get to see you in 2 weeks when I come to this wedding, and I will send you the details. And know, ladies, that I am in your corner. I am not the PR person that's jealous, spiteful, resentful, or unwilling to help, as Emily should know. I will always be in your corner. I'll always help you, and certainly feel free to come back on the show anytime you like. But if I don't get you off my show, my kids are going to be standing there alone, so get the hell off my show.
That's
I love
true.
you. Hugging,
all right, well,
hugging.
you made me cry. I love you. I will talk to you soon,
Yes.
Cindy. Got tears
All
in
right,
my
guys.
eyes.
Have a great weekend, honey.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Tell me that those guys are not fabulous, right? And I'm not kidding. I have about like a hot second to get the hell out of here. So, again, absolutely wonderful. And I can't believe I made her cry, but it's true. Anyways, the name of the website is mugsypr.com. Obviously, they have the same name on Etsy, on Twitter, on Facebook, on LinkedIn. They also are on IMDb, Pinterest, YouTube, and, of course, LinkedIn. Emily also has a personal page, also Facebook page, also Twitter, which is Emily on the Ave. And again, her name is Emily. It's Taffel. And Sarah is Sarah. And then, of course, let me just spell the last name for you one more time, and that would be Caro. And again, you heard them. They are the friend and advocate for people near, wide, and far as it relates to the public relations needs. Again, look them up, please, and do support them if you can. One more time, 2 o'clock Central Standard Time. I'll be back on the show on Monday. You guys have yourself a great weekend. Thanks again for listening in and supporting me. You guys take care. We'll see you next week.
What a matchup!
And what a team, Mike. Metro PCS and the iPhone SE for $0 on a network that covers 99% of people in the U.S. Oh, impressive.
Play with the best. Switch to Metro PCS on an unlimited LTE plan and get a 32-gig iPhone SE for $0. Metro PCS. Coverage not available in some areas, plus sales tax. Claim based on talk and text. Not valid for active numbers currently on the T-Mobile network or active on Metro PCS in the past 90 days. See store for details and terms and conditions.
What a matchup! And what a team, Mike. Metro PCS and the iPhone SE for $0 on a network that covers 99% of people in the U.S. Oh, impressive.
Play with the best. Switch to Metro PCS on an unlimited LTE plan and get a 32-gig iPhone SE for $0. Metro PCS. Coverage not available in some areas, plus sales tax. Claim based on talk and text. Not valid for active numbers currently on the T-Mobile network or active on Metro PCS in the past 90 days. See store for details and terms and conditions.